it's all right with you guys, if we want to continue this study of the shack for a period of time. So it's up to you guys to make the decision. Now, how many of you have read the book? First of all.
Yeah.
Good, that's good. Everybody knows, 3 of us.
Yeah.
You have it? You have it? You have no excuse. Okay, I need 6 readers. You not reading? Would you like to read along? Reader? No reader? The read along? Okay. A reader? Okay, I got 3. I know she don't want to read. I know there's another. You guys read?
You guys read?
We don't know now. I am not
My best biblical voice.
What's that guy that used to do the King James Version? What's his name? Oh, no, she's just not. Anybody else? What I've done, I also bought the book on Neil and Eagle, and see if you can go through the first one. What I'm doing on Saturday morning. Actually, I think they had something about since you guys won't come to the Shack's coming to you.
Love it.
Okay, since you haven't, none of you guys read this, it's not a gun, by the way, it's in my glasses. Have not read it, I will try to give you some idea about what the shack is about. The man who wrote it, I've never had anybody that much attentive to me in a long time, so I'm just not used to it. It's kind of like when your kids listen to you for what they go. These my kids? Anyway, the guy who wrote the book, he wrote about, he actually wrote this to his children. And the book is about an encounter with God, okay, which is the entirety of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Okay, in a shack. In a shack where his daughter was killed. So there's a lot of meaning to the shack. It's not just like an old building house someplace. So if you have a chance, you ought to be able to finish it in a week. It's easy. It's a fast read, trust me. Once you get into it, it's a fast read. And what we have here is excerpts from chapters 1 through 6. And there's 4 pages of them. We're only going to do page 1 tonight because Jay didn't give me very much time.
That's all right.
So since the clock is behind me, somebody's going to have to remind me what time it is. Okay, the reason, before I get started, the reason I wanted to do this book, and because I'm doing it on Sunday mornings, is because it really, this book will touch you. One shape or form, it will touch you. Especially if you've had any traumatic experiences in your life. I mean, really traumatic experiences. Now, you know, I've always heard the story about, you know, you feel bad for yourself because you had no shoes until you meet a person without your feet. You know? So there's always somebody worse off than you. So but it's hard to really look at somebody that's worse off than you when you're really worse off. I mean, you think you're worse off, right? I mean, anybody here ever been to the emergency room? How much of an emergency was it to people around you? See, it's an emergency to us, right? Now, I don't know if anybody can see this big old scar, but it's an emergency to us. So whenever something tragic happens in our lives, we think it's such an emergency, and we want to do what we got to do, immediately take care of it, right? And we want to take, we don't want to take him to take care of his way. We want to take care of our way. So sometimes it's especially when you look at this, there's some things. I really thought there was going to be a different outcome of the book than there was, but you know, there wasn't. Anyway, so I wanted for us to understand something that about God, them, the Son, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, how they're one. In this book, it really brings that into, you know, because it's like Susan and I, we've been married 38 years, and sometimes we'll just, for some, out of the blue, we'll have the same thought about something. I mean, it's not like, it took us a long time to get connected like that. We are connected like that. Could you imagine the creator of the universe and these 3 beings being the same way? You know, And a lot, I mean, there's no separation of it. But they are separated. Kind of confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you read the book, or if you have read the book, if you're going to read the book, and we get to start going through this, and you guys start, if you have some questions about it or comments about it, please go ahead and add to it. Okay, so if you would, we'll start. Now, you guys may want to say, well, what does this have to do with God and Christianity and stuff like that? But if you think about the legend of self-sacrifice and giving of oneself for a cause, does that sound familiar? I remember I read a story years ago. More years than I can remember. But I remember the story. There was a guy who was a train conductor, not a train conductor, but a switchman. And he was one of those control booth things where there was a lot of trains where you, I don't know, I've never seen personally, but they have a whole bunch of train tracks going back and forth, and there's trains that get, put on one track and stuff like that. And he was in the control room, and he's doing his job, and he, I don't know if they had like Father Son Day or something like that, but his son was there, little tight, old enough to go around by himself, like maybe 5, 6 years old. I can't remember exactly. I remember the story, but I don't remember how old the son was. So the father's showing him how he's switching trains and stuff like this, and how that what he does in his job. And of course, the boy, after a little bit, the father gets real busy because there's a lot of traffic coming in. He's having to really pay attention to what's going on, so he loses track of where his son is. And about 10, 15 minutes later, he looks out and he sees his son on the railroad tracks. And he also knows that he also knows that's a track that he has to switch a train to. Now he has to make a decision. Do I switch the train so train for the track for the two engines, the trains won't collide, or do I just let them collide and save my son? Well, in this story, he's saving the train. And as the train was going by and people were just, in the car, of course, back then there was a lot of people who rode the train by. He was crying and stuff like that. And people were they didn't know what had happened. So don't you know what I just did for you? I saved your lives by the cost of my son. I wonder how many times God asked that. The beginning of this story is it's actually 3.5 years after this time right here. But the beginning of this story, or this book, it's about Mac receiving a note in his mailbox telling him, I will be at the shack next weekend. If you want to get together, I'll be there. Signed, Papa. Now that Papa is what his wife Nan calls God. So that's the reason it's called the shack. And the shack is where the last time he saw any evidence of his daughter Missy, which is really wanted to stop there and hear this tale, and we'll see her later, how she gets to the point. But it's really a tragic story, one that I hope nobody has ever had to experience anything like it whatsoever. But hopefully we can put it in perspective and understand exactly how to make God, the Holy Spirit, and all this a part of our lives. I know it's difficult to do sometimes, but especially when you're struggling, especially a Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and some knotheads just told you that something was really stupid, or some teacher that did something that you really didn't think was a very good thing to do, or if you're less than a 6-month-old just threw up in your lap or whatever. It's really hard to think about, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and what they mean to you in life.